It's a system which maintains gender inequality and harms women. Most prostitutes are female. Most buyers of sex, pimps and brothel owners are male 99%. Well, this is a common knowledge. I am not totally sure about the exact numbers. So I look it up. The correct numbers are 20% of prostitutes are men and 80% are women. They argues once you pay for sex there is a power dynamic. Once you pay to access a woman's body, it's no longer sex. According to them, sex is a mutual exchange. You can't buy consent. Without the money, there would be no consent for the sex taking place. What do we call sex without consent? This is exploitation in its clearest form. The inside of a woman's body is not a workplace. Most women involved in prostitution are vulnerable and have a history of sexual abuse, domestic violence, drug abuse, mental health issues, poverty, etc. Wealthy, affluent women aren't queuing up to do this type of work according to them. However, there are examples when rich women doing this act for some reason, they become high-class escorts, so this reasoning not very good. A feminist may claim where prostitution has been legalized/decriminalized, sex trafficking and the systematic rape and slavery of women has increased to meet the demand. Now a male feminist or a leftist, this is almost the same thing, raise another objection. And he states that prostitution is not a bad thing. He claims it's existed for millennia. Wherever prostitution is legal, the sex workers have medical care, regular checkups, and protection from harm. Such a manlet states the violence comes from pimps. When prostitution is legal, there is no need for pimps. People who are telling you of all the women who are forced into sex are there because of poverty, and in the area they operate it's illegal. Prostitutes have the power to say no to clients they deem unsuitable. Where prostitution is legal, women work by choice. There is no coercion. Ancient Roman culture had brothels everywhere in their cities. Studies have shown that when a person has sex 3 or more times per week, the happier they are, the more stable they are, the more grounded they are, the more peaceful they are, and more. If you want to go out and start a romantic relationship just so you can get real sex, you're fooling yourself. Sex is not love. Though you can be in love and have sex. When you aspire to create a romantic relationship, there's no guarantee you'll get laid. With a prostitute, if you want to get laid, you pay your money, and then you get laid. Then you get on with your life. Those religious people who tell you not to go to prostitutes because it's a sin and the Bible says so are uptight, misguided, controlling, fear-mongering sorts who probably use prostitutes while telling you not to. Their most common tactic is shame. They shame you for something completely normal, and they shame the prostitute for providing the service. Prostitution is a good thing. It's illegal. Prostitutes have the power to say no to clients they deem unsuitable. But here's a thing. This whole thing is a lie. They sold you the idea that it is okay, it is good. However, in the long run it is an wide open attack to our society. We already seen how such progressivism ruins traditions, like family unit, Christianity, and the immune system of our nations. And such progressivism contains the acceptance of harlots. Now all these objections are wrong. 'Cause defile your body, sold your decency and soul, was never okay. Lust is a cardinal sin, and those who entered on this slope always ended as miserable, when they realize there isn't anything permanent satisfaction in hedonism. Nothing which adheres to a higher state of well-being. These two answers serves as fair refutations against prostitution. Genuine fulfillment in any activity arises from a sense of oneness. This is exemplified through the satisfaction musicians and painters experience when completely absorbed in their respective crafts. However, we contend that when two individuals engage in an activity for disparate reasons, as seen in relationships driven by financial motives or the pursuit of sexual fantasies, true fulfillment remains elusive. We posits that romantic and sexual encounters attain a higher level of fulfillment when both partners share a mutual and profound connection, embodying a love that transcends mere physicality. Such unions are described as eternally beautiful and pure, characterized by a lack of haste or power dynamics. In this idealized form of love, both individuals are equals, fully accepting each other without the need for control, resulting in a supremely gratifying and realistic experience. How amoral a person should be to compare harlotry for amor amicitia, for example. It means the one who is loved through amor amicitia is loved for their own sake, without any ulterior motive or condition. I keep the best reasoning for the end. Because it socially isolates prostitute goers who are almost all men. It socially isolates men. Men have from start and by default less social skills than women. Further isolating them socially is really a crime. Socially isolated people result psychological illnesses and big problems in society. So people have to take responsibility here. The undeniable fact is that for every single lonely man there is a lonely woman. Contrary to this answer on Quora, we still say resort about the reason why it is bad rather to go on statistical debates. Feminists excuse themselves from this responsibility by only penalizing the buyers, but sellers are equally guilty because you actively support the isolation of men, no matter that you are the provider or the solicitor. If you support prostitution, you support lonely men and women, socially isolated women, and they are not much use for society as a whole. Social isolation of someone or contributing to the social isolation of someone is psychological violence. That means that prostitution is psychological violence.